Hey everybody, Judy here from Coffee, Cookies, and Books, and today we're going to talk about what I'm hoping to read in April. So I'd really love it if you would stick around. Really wonderful to see you again, and I'm looking forward to hopefully another really great reading month. I'm coming off a fairly heavy one, having participated in Ramathon 4.0. I will be bringing my final wrap up to you next week, but there are quite a few books that I had hoped to read in March that I didn't get to. So I'm going to go through some of those because I am going to bring them into April. So what we're going to do for April is I have literally just picked what I'm going to read. So I have 4 ebooks, well, technically 5, but I'll explain that. And I have 8 print books, maybe only 7, and I'll explain that too as we go through them. So basically, I do have 2 challenges that I am doing that are throughout the year, which are the Buzzword challenges. There's the Buzzword reading challenge and there's the Buzzword cover challenges. So I will be sharing with you the 2 books that are set for April. From those. I also have my 25 must-reads in 2025, so I do have a couple of books that are off of that list, which I am going to be adding in. And then there are some books that are from Ramathon that I didn't get to that I really want to read, and so those are on my list as well. So I'm going to kind of go through all of that. I thought what we would do first is we would start with what I'm going to read on my Kindle. As you might know, if you've been here before, I read Kindle along with reading my print. So this month, more or less, I'm setting 9 to 11 books in total between print and Kindle. I don't really, well, I mean, technically it's 12, but I don't know if I'm going to read all 12. Anyway, we will go through that. So let's start with Kindle first. So the first book that technically is running over from March to April is The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. I started that in March, have only gotten about through about 20 to 30% of it. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with it or if I'm going to DNF it. I'm not really super enjoying it so far, but it's not a long book, so I'm going to continue on a little bit more and we'll see how it goes. And I may technically finish that in April. So that's one of the ones that I have set, and that is in my Kindle Unlimited. So the other ones that I have, so I've got 4 others that I have picked that are on my Kindle. So they're all different genres. Now the first one is, and I'm going to share the covers up here for you so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. First one is a brand new book from Anna Hackett called Jameson. And it is Hunter Squad Book 1. So this is a new series that she's starting. She is one of my favorite romantic suspense authors, along with Brittany Sahan. They're kind of my 2 favorites. So whenever she starts something new, and this is kind of blends a little bit of sci-fi in with that. So I'll read a bit of the synopsis here. It says, we survived the invasion and beat the aliens, but they left something behind. Humanity is rebuilding after devastating invasion, but the growing towns all have walls to protect them from the monsters. Created in alien labs, the monsters hide in the swamps, rivers, and forests, breeding, mutating. Every now and then they crawl out of the shadows. That's where I come in. I'm Jameson Steele, the leader of Hunter Squad, the toughest group of soldiers in New Sydney. It's our job to keep people safe and secure. We're the monster hunters. This is based in Australia. The author is actually Australian, and that is where she lives. So I love the fact that it's based there. And, you know, it is a romance. So these sort of sci-fi mixed romantic suspenses that she does are always fantastic. Yeah, so can't wait to read this one, especially it being the first one. I always find the first one's always really good because you're just getting into the world and just getting a handle on it. So that's going to be a definite read for April. Then the other one that I picked from my Kindle Unlimited is Fragile Sanctuary by Catharine Cowles. I've never read anything from her. This is the first book in the Sparrow Falls series, and it sounded good. I think it also falls under romantic suspense. Let me just double check here. Yes, it does. So it does fall under romantic suspense, small town romance. So that's why I thought I would give her a try, because I don't tend to favor contemporary romance quite as much as romantic suspense, even though I do like some contemporary romance. But I thought I would give her a try as an author. So the synopsis says, the scowl should have been my first clue to stay far away from Anson Hunt. The sexy smirk and the fact that he's my brother's best friend. Reasons 2 and 3, not to mention he's the new contractor working on my house. He's everything I'm not. Grumpy, rude, and more than a little attached to his solitude. It doesn't matter how many times I try to kill him with kindness, the man simply won't crack until he sees me shatter. So it's just a little bit of the beginning of the synopsis. I thought it sounded interesting and that I would give it a go. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. It sounds like a good one to start, and if I really like it, I will continue on with the series. There are 6 books in the series at this point, so we'll continue from there. And then the next one is, I guess, a romantasy. Is that what it's considered? Let me just double check. Contemporary romance, kidnapping thriller, contemporary romance. So it's Hooked, which is the Never After series by Emily McIntire. And I believe that it is a contemporary romance, but it's based on a fairy tale base. He wants revenge, but he wants her more. James has always had one agenda: destroy his enemy, Peter Michaels. When Peter's 20-year-old daughter, Wendy, shows up in James's bar, he sees his way in, seduce the girl, and use her for his revenge. It's the perfect plan until things in James's organization begin to crumble. Suddenly, he has to find the traitor in his midst, and his plan for revenge gets murkier as James starts to see Wendy as more than just a pawn in his game. Wendy has been cloistered away most of her life by her wealthy, cold father, but a spontaneous night with friends turns into an intense and addictive love affair with a dark and brooding James. I don't know if it's a dark romance. Certainly sounds a little bit like it might be that, but it sounds interesting to me, enough for me to give it a try. A lot of people have reviewed these group of books by Emily McIntire, and they have loved them. And it is only 312 pages, so not super long. So I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And then the last ebook is a cozy mystery. It's called The Body in the Bookstore, a Secret Bookcase Mystery, Book 1 by Ellie Alexander. And this one was referred by, reviewed by, it's, gosh, I can't even remember her name, but she does a lot of cozy thrillers. She does a lot of recommendations on that kind of thing. Cozy mysteries, cozy thrillers, that sort of thing. And I thought this one sounded interesting. There are 6 books in the series. It says, an addictively cozy and gripping murder mystery introducing a brand new amateur sleuth and lovable heroine to the crime scene. Welcome to the Secret Bookcase, a quirky bookstore in a grand converted manor house where the selection of crime fiction is dangerously good. The store has been bookseller and events manager Annie Murray's sanctuary ever since her dreams of starting a detective agency with her best friend died, literally when Scarlett was murdered. So it's a good start. I am super looking forward to it. I think it sounds like it's going to be really, really good. I always like to throw in a cozy mystery of sorts whenever I can. And in this particular case, I don't have anything like that in the books that I'm going to read. So I thought I would throw it into my Kindle Unlimited. So that's it for Kindle. So we're going to just close that off. And I realized that I forgot to turn my lighting on. So I am just going to switch us over to a little bit of extra external lighting. Okay, sorry about that, but I wanted to add some extra light. It's a very cloudy day here today, and so I thought, well, we'll add some little extra on the other side, windows on this side, a little extra lighting on this side. So we're good to go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about books. So the first book is one that I soft DNF in February, and it is Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon. I think I got to chapter 6, I think, in this, and I soft DNF'd it. Wasn't really feeling it, and my plan was to put it on April. I didn't want to put it in March because I had the Realmathon, and so I thought, nope, I'm going to put it in April because I felt like I wasn't going to have as heavy a reading month in April because I was going to try to ease things back a little bit, which I have. All of the books that I'm reading in April, for the most part, are fairly small. They're not super thick, not crazy challenging. I just wanted to kind of give myself a little bit of an easier month because March was crazy. So I'm going to put this one back on. We will see how it goes. It's kind of in the same boat as the Veiled Kingdom, in that I don't know how I feel about it. I'm hoping that I can get through with it and read it because I did get Monsoon Rising. I really would like to finish this one. So we're going to try this one. This is going to be my first read. I mean, it's okay. It's the fates of two bitter enemies with opposing magical abilities are swept together in the Hurricane Wars, the spellbinding debut in a fantasy romance trilogy set in Southeast Asia, inspired world ravaged by storms, perfect for fans of Sarah J. Maas and R.F. Kuang. Now, I have never read anything from R.F. Kuang, and I am literally just finished Crescent City. The 3 books. So, and I loved that. But that was kind of because it's more of an urban fantasy, which I really love. This does not fall under that category in my mind. But we'll give it a try and we'll see how I do with that this one. Okay, so then the other 2 that I have, next 2 that I have, are the 2 books that are on the Buzzword reading challenge. So first one is so I have 2 Buzzword challenges that I'm doing. The reading challenge and the cover challenge, not to get too confusing. So I will put them up here. First one is the reading challenge, and the April one is has been set for Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. So I picked this one because it has an animal on the cover and an animal in the wording on the front of the cover. So that was why I picked this one. And it's obviously it's a thriller. I'm not sure if it's a horror or a thriller. Such Sharp Teeth, wonderful, witty, and wild. It's also heady and daring in how the story explores friend and family dynamics, the anger women aren't allowed to express within our culture, and the wounds that transform us against our will. The next full moon I see, I'll be rooting for Rory. So, a young woman in need of a transformation finds herself in touch with the animal inside in this gripping, incisive novel from the author of Cackle and The Return. I have not read any of Rachel Harrison's books, so this will be my first. And really looking forward to it. And so that is the April Buzzword Challenge, one of the April Buzzword Challenges. The other Buzzword Challenge is the cover challenge, and I have Godblind by Anna Stevens on there. And this is a grimdark fantasy, and I've been dying to try this one. So it is, there was a time when the red gods ruled the land. The dark lady and her horde dealt in death and blood and fire. The time has long since passed, and the neighboring kingdoms of Mercies and Rippor hold an uneasy truce. The only bloodshed confined to the border, where vigilantes known as wolves protect their kin and territory at any cost. It says the red golds are rising. This is a 3-book series. I do have all 3 books, so really want to get this one started out. And so this is the April cover. And again, it's animals, but it's for an animal on the cover. And of course, we have a bird on the cover. So that was why I picked this one. So that is, so these 2 in particular, Buzzword, those are must reads for April. So they have to be read. Okay. Then what I have is a couple of books that were, one is a holdover from Realmathon that I didn't get read, but it is one of my 25 must-reads in 2025. And then the other one is a new one that I picked from my must-reads in 2025, because I do want to get a couple of those in as well. So the first one is a contemporary romance, which is Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. This is the second one. I think the first one was Love Redesigned, I think was the first one. And I did read that one. And I do have that one around here somewhere on my bookshelves. So I just would really like to get to these ones. These are super long, but they're a pretty easy read overall for like a longer novel. Because it's romance, they're typically, you get through them pretty quick. So this is about Raphael and Ellie. Now, Raphael is a single dad. Ellie is the nanny. And they were introduced in the first book. So you kind of already know these characters. And I was very much looking forward to reading Rafi's story because it sounded interesting. And Ellie sounds like she's really sweet. So can't wait to see what happens with these 2, but this is another must read for April. Okay. Then the other one, I thought I would pick a sci-fi one. I do have one other, but it's like sci-fi fantasy, but this is pure sci-fi, and it is the Jinn-Bot of Shanti by Samit Basu. I thought I would try this one. I loved the sound of it when I saw it. It says, 1 human, 2 robots, 3 wishes to free the soul of a city. Shantiport was supposed to be a gateway to the stars, but the city is sinking and its colonist rulers aren't helping anyone but themselves. Lena, a daughter of failed revolutionaries, has no desire to escape Shantiport. She loves her city and would do anything to save its people. This is, in fact, the plan for her life, made before she was even born. So this sounds really good. Now, I believe that her brother is the little monkey robot, I believe. Anyways, I remember when I've seen this one reviewed by a few people that do sci-fi and all that, and loved the sound of it. So I thought I would include that in. And again, this is one of my 25 must-reads for 2025. So that one's absolutely going to get read. So all in all, I mean, there are 4 books that are for sure must-read. And then these other books are, I'm hoping to read, which I shouldn't have too much difficulty because they're not super, like I said, none of these are really super long books, so should be able to get through them. Now these 3 here are leftovers from the Realmathon. 2 of them are follow-ups to the first one they read, so it's like 3 in a series, and one is one that I started on ebook and I bought the physical book, so I'll explain those. So the first 2 are The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. So I did read in March, and it was in my mid-March wrap-up, because for March I knew I was going to read a lot of books, so I've split them into 2. The second half of the wrap-up is going to come in a week. But the first half, I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, which is the first book in the series. I really enjoyed it. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to continue on with both these 2 books. Neither of them is super long, just a little over 300 pages. So I thought, well, good opportunity in April, because April is kind of like a bit more of a, I would say, leisurely month of reading. And so I've put these 2 in with hope to finishing them. I'll be frank, my goal for sure is to finish the one, which is the second one, which is this one. If this one does not get finished, then I'll roll it over into May, because I will finish them one right after another. I don't want to keep them waiting too long. I don't like to do that with series. I do like to kind of continue on with the series kind of right away. So we're going to go with those 2. Then the last book that I have is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. Now, this book, I had it on Kindle Unlimited, and I started reading it, and I loved it. I loved it so much. And literally, I think it was 3 chapters in, I'm like, no, you know what, I want to buy this. A lot of it is because, which I did mention when I did my fantasy book haul, which was just a couple of days ago that I posted that, I did mention that it has certain formatting in it. Like, you want to be, I just find it easier to read it on the page. And, you know, it isn't a super short book, but not super long. It's about 450 pages. But it has like this sort of thing, like formatting on the page, right? So I just really wanted to read it that way, and I really want to get into Carl and Princess Donut, which is the cat, which you see right here. Oh my God, his descriptions of the cat are hilarious. It is a prized award-winning cat, and yeah, just had to read it this way. So my hope is, but it's last, okay? So I have all of those other books on my list, and this one is last. The intention is that no matter what, when I get down to the end of the month, I will probably have started this. If I haven't finished it, whatever I don't read from this month will go into May. I don't expect that there's going to be much, if anything. My intention is to get through all of these, but we shall see how it goes from here. But yeah, so that's my intention. And this one, I'm hoping it's going to be my last one. I'm hoping for a 5-star read with this. This is like 5-star prediction. This one, pretty sure it's going to be really, really, really good. So that's my expectation. So that's it. That's all my plans for April. As I said, April's going to be a little bit quieter a month. And now the other challenge that I'm doing is the 25 and 25 bingo challenge. And I have decided that I am going to cross off what I'm taking off my bingo challenge at the end of every month with what I read for that month. I did do that with my mid-March. I managed to fill in 2 additional spaces. And so when I do the next wrap-up, which will be the end of March wrap-up, we'll take some more. Then at the end of April, I'll do the wrap-up. Now in April, I'm only planning to do 1 wrap up because I'm not doing all that many books. So I think that it'll be easy to do it at the end of the month. I do tend to go on quite a bit, so that's why sometimes if I know I'm going to read a lot in a particular month, I might split it up. But I think in April, it'll be fine to do it at the end of the month. And in some cases, like with the Cruel Prince series, the 2 books, I'll kind of review them together because as long as I read them both together, I'll review them together. So it'll make it a little bit faster. Anyway, that's it for me for now. And I apologize that I started out the video without the lighting and then added it in. But I think it's always a little bit better with it added in. And I will be getting back to you. I think this is going to go up on the 2nd of April, 1st or 2nd of April, this is going to go up. And then on the following Monday, I'm hoping to have my final wrap up on what I read for March for you and ready to go. And in the meantime, I believe on the 31st is my final book haul, which is all the fantasy books that I picked up for the first quarter of 2025. So that's it for now, and I look forward to seeing you next time around. Have a great one.